is buffer time? What is buffer time? Is what buffer time?
Greetings from Ryza. As we get to you from Buffer Time, we're going to talk about Trek vacations and episodes revolving around said vacations. This was Windgrace's topic. First time he's joined us. We're going to go around and introduce ourselves. I'm Dustin from Best of Trek, Worst of Trek.
I'm Josh, as my Earth name is, or Windgrace, as everyone else knows me.
And I'm Scott of YouTube channel Opinions No One Cares About.
All right, and Robbie should be with us, barring some technical issues. So, we don't have a ton with this. I just think this is going to be a fun way to wind down summer and vacations and stuff. Let's start with some real softball stuff. What character do you think had the best vacation?
See, I was going to say Curzon, but I'm just going to go ahead and say all the Daxes, up to maybe Ezri.
Okay. I hadn't thought about that, but I know that is a great goddamn answer.
I mean, McCoy didn't do too bad on that vacation. He died, but he came back.
Well, he kept the memory.
He certainly
Kirk
had
got
some
closure.
fun. I'm thinking that the answer to this question is Hoshi in Enterprise's 2 Days and 2 Nights.
Okay. Way too early.
I mean, she actually had a good time. She got to do what she's meant to do and learn a bunch of languages.
True.
Though I really like Windgrace's answer. I don't know that anybody can top, like, Curzon died banging a Ryzen chick.
And it wasn't permanent, so it's all good for all parties.
Hey, Robbie, you want to introduce yourself right quick while you're here?
Hi, Robbie Sherman, Conversations with Robbie Sherman, longtime Buffer Time member. Happy to be here. Is my video working okay?
No, you're still frozen, but
No. Stick around.
yeah, we'll just talk. The question that we were talking about right now was, who do you think had the best vacation in Trek?
I don't know. I guess I have to agree with you as far as Hoshi, because she's the only one that seemed like she had a good vacation. Like everybody else just kind of gets into scrapes and like weird issues. Like okay, maybe Kirk had a good vacation of some sort. You know, getting to beat up your college rival is something a lot of people don't get to do.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, Finney.
Yeah, I love that guy's comically Irish accent.
Right.
Love it. I love it.
I love the silver cadet uniform, too.
Yeah, that is the only time we see that in TOS, isn't it?
If that's what it's supposed to actually be, yeah.
Now, just because we're talking about that one, when they go back to that same planet in TAS, I think that might be Uhura's best episode, like across all of Trek, until maybe Strange New Worlds.
Well, yeah, you can consider that.
They didn't give her a heck of a lot to do in TOS, and like she was a badass when they went back in this one, in Once Upon a Planet.
She had a couple good moments in the animated series.
That's true.
It's too bad that she was like one of the not original cast, but from pretty early on in TOS, and they just didn't give her much to do. I think Chekhov was more fleshed out, and he didn't even come around until season 2.
It's true.
And then they made her fan dance in the 5th movie.
Yeah.
Which I guess is a vacation.
Yes. We'll use that as a segue, and I had the question, what did you think of the interactions here in Star Trek V between the big three? Because for me, it's the only thing the movie has going for it, and is actually enough for me to call The Final Frontier better than a couple of other Trek movies, like the motion picture. Just for these couple of camping scenes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Those scenes plus Bones' little history lesson as far as his father was pretty good too.
Yeah, that was another good moment from that movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, after the
marshmallows.
snap, hey Norman.
Like I was saying earlier, great minds, man. Great minds.
So, playing off the first question that we had, on the other side of that, what character do you think had the worst vacation? And this one you
Ooh.
probably have to think more about, because I mean that seems to be the recurring theme in Trek vacations, that nobody has a good time, especially if you're going to Risa. By God.
That's probably why I would cast my vote for Geordi.
Oh,
Probably.
Yeah. Because yeah, he probably had it. I bet you anything, his Horgon was like the first thing he packed, and next thing he knows, except he doesn't actually know it, he's a Romulan sleeper agent.
that old chestnut, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that does have a fair amount of the people that have bad times don't even make it to their vacation. They just get abducted on the way to said vacation.
Right.
So if we're sticking with that, if it's a lifespan thing, probably Porthos. But I'm gonna
That's a
say
good point.
I'm gonna say Reed. Not that all of his bad times were vacations, but he never seems to have a good time when he goes anywhere.
That's true.
Well, they did sport the
sorry, that's
absolute
only got
worst outfit Star Trek may have ever had right here.
It's like Rise of Vice or something.
I was going to make a Love Boat joke.
True.
Yeah, Bashir did have a bad time, and yeah, Worf was. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna talk mostly about this episode with Worf towards the end.
I have
Because
strong words for that.
I feel like it ties in a little bit, starts tying into what we're gonna get into next week, which is the Bell riots. Like, holy crap, we're here at the actual time of the Bell riots. But that is next week's problem.
One whole week to prepare.
It's like a,
Is my video moving at all now?
Nope, it's not. Just worry about it. We can hear you just fine. So who do you think had the worst vacation, Robbie?
I guess Trip, because they literally got abducted, and just used. I think they kind of do deserve it though, because they were obviously going there for sex tourism, like they're disgusting people.
Well, and the last time Trip went for sex, he got pregnant, so you'd think he'd learn.
well,
I didn't watch enough Enterprise to learn that fact. I'm never going to.
oh wait, is that when? Oh, that's from Home when we went to Paul the Vulcan. Or not?
Hello?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh wow, I just realized I was muted for that whole thing. No, I was saying it became a like a trope for Trip that his vacations didn't work out too well. Because here we are, he goes to Vulcan with Paul, and then she gets married right out from under him.
Bad timing.
Yep, yeah, we were just talking about that, Marge, and that's another whole trope of like people getting abducted before they ever get to their vacation.
Yeah.
Geordi did, Troy did,
Boy.
Bush.
Oh, didn't what's her name? I almost said Nana. What's her real name? Kira.
Kira.
Mm-hmm. Yep, in the circle. She went to the monastery on Bajor, and they took her right after this scene.
Right.
Here's an interesting question. Does Menage a Troy really count as a vacation episode?
Yes, as much as any of the other ones that we put on this list, I think, because they have a little picnic. I mean, it's more of a vacation than some of the other ones that we're talking about.
I mean, I was thinking maybe it counted for like Deanna's mom, but I didn't really think it counted for Riker and Troy. You know, they just went to the holodeck.
It's actually the only time I think within TNG that they like. It seems like they're a couple for just a minute and not just friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Two.
this is basically a date.
And then Mama Troy comes in and just ruins the vibe.
And then it's not.
Yeah. I wonder how she felt when Jean was writing scripts that made her intensely unlikable to everyone on the cast. Like, what was he trying to accomplish?
Well, I mean, writing.
he
I
might
don't
have
think
passed
Gene actually wrote anything after
yeah.
the pilot, but he's the reason that she's there. He was just like, "Yep, you go be yourself." The way I understand it, that's like half of what Majel Roddenberry really kind of was like in real life.
Oh.
Not quite to that extreme, but yeah. So the next question I had is Risa a facade and a death trap?
Oh, probably. Yeah. I mean, it's like nothing but rain there when they don't have the, climate control engaged. If you look at all the stuff with Worf and these weird terrorists he befriends, it's so easy to like get one up on the people of Risa. All these people that are just completely in a state of relaxation. It doesn't have anything that prepares people, it seems, for emergencies.
Marge makes a good point. We hadn't thought about the episode with the mud baths. I guess that could technically count as a vacation. We had put on our short list of stuff with some of the holodeck stuff, like Fairhaven episodes, because those were like longer. They're not just like, oh, I went to the holodeck for a minute. It was actually more of a long-term kind of vacation.
I hate that bubble clown from the mud bath. He haunts my nightmares.
I just find that episode so goddamn morally questionable. Just a random person takes small boy to nude mud baths. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
And then his dad abandoned him for 6 seasons, so.
It's like going to the Y for the first time with your dad, I guarantee you that's not near as bad as like going to the bathroom at a baseball game when you're a young kid.
I don't know that Fairhaven's the ultimate getaway, but it was a good enough distraction for Voyager for 2 whole episodes in the same season even.
I feel like an idiot. I forgot to watch those.
I mean, you're not missing a lot.
They're mostly
kinda
excuses for like a period story.
Like a woman's time of the month story, you're saying? Like, or do you have another?
No, that was Janeway Lambda 1, her Gothic Hollow novel. That was
Okay, good. I was about to say I didn't.
I am still waiting to find out what is on the 4th floor of that novel.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they brought it up for just a second in Lower Decks even, and I was like, oh, come on, tell me what's on the 4th floor.
Prodigy season 3.
Here's to hoping. I still haven't seen season 2, but yeah, they still haven't said that it's canceled, so anything's possible. And as to the question that I had asked about Risa being a facade and a death trap, yeah, I think it is. I think it's just Orlando, Florida. I think it's just Las Vegas. I think it's more hype than it's worth.
There's a lot of missing people, I'm sure. They just don't fill out the paperwork.
Yeah, they're like the Disney resorts. You know, if anything bad happens, they just kind of wipe it away. You never hear about it.
They just jettison the body in an escape pod so it didn't die on the premises.
Yeah.
They just find a convenient loophole in a related service to dissuade you from
yeah.
suing.
It's not
They
your
did
fault.
a,
It's
yeah,
not
a
our
free
fault.
trial to the James Bond program 6 years ago.
Do you think if somebody dies of like a peanut allergy there, they have like some kind of streaming contract that says you can't sue them or some shit? They have like the Ryza streaming network.
Ryza Plus. I think I would pay for that, honestly.
Oh man, I bet the porn on that would be crazy. Like,
That's all it would be.
yeah, pretty much. That and weird little tourism videos about all their facilities.
Ooh, all the Maquis prisoners would have to do like ads like, "Hi, I'm Thomas Riker. Welcome to Ryza."
So here's a small follow-up. As Scott had pointed out, another one that we kind of forgot to think about until just before the stream. Is Ryza more or less of a facade than Ferenginar?
That's a good question.
Ferenginar.
Ferenginar kind of owns it though.
Yeah, I feel like Ferenginar is more of a like proto-capitalist like thing, and they really take pride in their nonsense.
Yeah, I guess that's probably more of the Las Vegas, and
Yeah.
Ryza
basically.
is more of the like the Miami or the Orlando. It's definitely a place where Florida Man does what Florida Man does.
I really
Well,
like
after,
the
yeah,
fact
Florida
that-
got destroyed at
Related to
Enterprise, so
Ferenginar.
they had to build a new one.
Oh man, that is definitely a Star Trek feature. Florida getting destroyed. You'd love to see
Oh
it.
yeah.
Can't get enough of that.
I'm just kidding. I'm assuming there's lots of nice people in Florida. I don't know anybody who lives there.
There are. Honestly,
Okay.
I like living there. I like the immigrants better than
Oh, okay.
the U.S. folks.
I'll take your worldly experience at face value.
Though that was 20 years ago. Things change. What's your favorite vacation episode?
don't have a migraine, Scott. It'll be okay.
Probably gonna have to go with Angel One. No, probably
Oh.
Captain's Holiday.
I
That's
kind of did like the noir of Captain's Holiday. That was actually very entertaining for me on this watch, and I actually felt they had a good romantic interest for him.
Only
Big
time you get
Goodbye?
to see
Right.
his chest.
Well, we saw
God,
it
The Big Goodbye.
in Chain of Command too. We got to see
I,
more than just his chest, but
That's a good point.
Hey,
I'm
he's
not
the-
the biggest fan of The Big Goodbye. I don't know what it was about that year too, because in the same year, Quantum Leap did a very similar like detective 50s detective novel
Oh.
kind of episode.
Yeah.
And it ends with the same kind of like goofy sign off. At least
Yeah.
that one had Willie Garson.
Come on.
This doesn't have anything going for it for me.
I think it was a different year, obviously. But Sliders did too, with a goofy ending.
Wow, boy,
Yeah.
it's always a trip when someone brings that show up. I have never seen an episode, and people just love it.
Well, you need to start.
Oh, okay.
Go find it right now.
All right then.
Just
Goodbye.
don't hope for an ending.
Oh no. Don't
No.
count on a happy ending.
No.
Don't even count on a good last season.
Is that the one with John Rhys Davies?
Yes.
Yes, for a
Angel
while.
One.
Mm-hmm. I saw a few episodes back in the day, but I haven't seen much of it.
It would make a lot of sense in the current climate because it's all about the multiverse.
Oh,
True.
okay. Interesting.
Any other favorite vacation episodes before I move on to our least favorite?
I think I really want to put Shore Leave there. Like that just has so much crazy junk going on. Like I had really forgotten large parts of it. It had been a while since I'd seen it, and like yeah, that's a funny bit. I love all the stuff with Sulu and yeah.
Yeah, he's a gun expert, but that like never comes up
Oh.
again.
Ever. Yeah, it's great.
Everybody's like, gun expert. Wait a minute, aren't you the sword guy?
Yeah, the fight with Jim and Finnegan, like man, those two go at it. Like that fight seems more realistic than some of the other big notable fights throughout TOS. And there's a couple of moments where like they're rolling around on these rocks, and it just looks so painful. Like
Oh,
it felt thrilling to me.
good call, Ganon.
Oh, yeah,
Hard
Tribunal.
time. Nope, wrong one.
Yeah, it's Tribunal.
Yeah,
Hard Times where he does the prison in his mind, and that I mean that's not a
Yeah.
vacation episode, but that's in my top 5
No,
favorite
Mind Prison is definitely not
DS9
a vacation.
episodes. That is a good call though, Gannon. I'm gonna say I think my favorite. Honestly, none of the vacation episodes are particularly like amazing to me.
yeah.
They range from terrible to serviceable.
I
I think
kinda
I'm gonna
thought-
go. I think I'm gonna go with Home for an overall episode.
Okay.
It's got a lot going on for it. Feel bad for Trip in the end, but I think it's a good episode.
I kind of thought you might pull out Picard meeting his brother and going back to Earth.
Oh,
yeah.
family.
Yeah, I kind of thought
Most
you were gonna
appropriately
pull that
named
one.
episode like ever.
It's good Picard stuff. The Warp stuff is some pretty low water, but yeah, the Picard stuff-
Honestly, like I'm not it's another one that I'm not the biggest fan of. The ending between him and his brother is great. The ending with Wesley and his father, that's okay, but yeah, the whole Worf thing is just like whatever.
Oh yeah, the Worf thing,
Yeah, I mean,
the Russian parents and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can see that, but like they are really just like the best parents though. They have no idea exactly what happened to him after discommendation, and they don't care. They just love him and they're proud of him because you know he's like security chief of the flagship. His dad's got schematics of the ship at home. They're really great parents. I guess it just
They are.
isn't as executed as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's for once it's actually a look at good parents in Star Trek, which is like a
Yeah.
huge rarity.
And then they get forced to have another kid for a while. Thanks,
Right.
Worf.
But
And then
Where we're
deviating
still on-
slightly, you have
no, go ahead.
sorry, deviating slightly, you have Beverly, who is actually a good mother, but then she finds that old recording of Jack that she was going to give to Wesley, but I believe she literally said he hadn't come to terms with his father's death yet. And I was like, it's been like 14 years, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to
But-
mention here on Family.
Yeah.
The last thing that Gene Roddenberry ever tried to exert any control over was having this episode canned. He hated it so much because he felt like it was too much of a soap opera, and the studio just ignored him. And then that was right as his health was going downhill.
This
They
was
killed
too much of a
Gene
soap opera.
Roddenberry.
Yeah, he hated Family. He wanted this canned and never shown.
This was too much of a soap opera, but he was good with Data having an evil twin, which is literally a soap opera trope.
Yeah, season 1 is so much of a soap opera. It's kind of weird to hear it like that, but that was his rationale at the time, at least.
But see, that's sexy soap opera material. There's nothing sexy about this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He wants sexy soap opera material. He doesn't want, old guy going back and having a fight with his brother.
But it was a mud fight, so that could be sexy.
Not to Gene.
I'm sure somebody's idea of a sexy time is two very British Frenchmen rolling around in the dirt.
I'm sure you could find it on DeviantArt or something right now. Tumblr.
I feel the fire, you know.
I don't think this one counts as a vacation, Norman. Nah. I'm not sure what happened to Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. We can move on to our least favorites, though. I think.
Going off just the list, I'm gonna go with Justice.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that's a strong candidate. I think that probably
That is very fair.
Oh, there you go. Drink
Again,
it in.
I know this is somebody's idea of a good time, for sure.
Welcome to Edo. Keep off the grass or we'll kill you.
This is all Yar's fault. She's like, I reviewed all of their procedures and laws.
Clearly you didn't.
Didn't think till... Yeah, because even if she didn't know the punishment, she should have then known about the punishment zones and described that to people. This is all Yar's fault.
Sure. Although, to be fair, and I believe I brought this up before when I summarized it, didn't they go to this planet even though doing so was basically a violation of the Prime Directive?
It wouldn't have been as long as they had been visited by others before.
So by others, not just the Federation?
Yeah. Like Angel One is like
Remember that.
they're not warp faring people, but they've had trade and exposure to other races.
I can't remember the actress who played Yar, but she's a good actress. Like in that scene there, she doesn't look uncomfortable in the slightest. In fact, she looks very enamored with these obvious like swingers that are trying.
Well,
to
she realizes she's the only one who can stand up without a malfunction.
True.
Yeah, Denise Crosby definitely got the shit end of the stick. They didn't give her. I mean, and I can't blame her for wanting to leave because they really didn't give her enough to do. She rocked when she could. When the writers didn't literally throw her under the bus, like here, and literally throwing her under a bus.
I'll tell you,
But then we wouldn't have Scylla.
that dude looks like he has an early 2000s X-Men uniform on.
Oh my gosh.
I'm waiting for him to sprout wings.
Or the
It just
90s.
needs, it needs more neon.
Oh,
Yeah.
There you go. It looks like the 90s Sue Storm with the cutout 4.
Yeah.
ooh.
That was a beautiful time in my life.
Has anybody watched the X-Men 97 stuff?
Oh, fuck yes, I have.
Yes.
So good.
I keep trying to finish the original first just for context. Haven't
Yeah.
quite got there yet.
That thing's about 5 good seasons before it really goes off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not here to talk about X-Men.
Yeah, I can't see another episode that's worse than Justice. I think we all agree on that one. It's that is the worst vacation.
Somebody in the chat referenced Sub Rosa. I know they did.
Yeah,
Don't like the
Norman
can
did a
on the
little
camera
while
toss.
ago.
And
Yep, not quite vacation.
Yeah, I don't think that counts as a vacation.
Could add that to a list
that
of
might be
funerals.
oh yeah.
It may count as a staycation, but I won't. I won't count it.
I don't know. I haven't seen the cartoon of X-Men since
Well,
it was in the 90s.
They do take vacation, but they always have the same problems the Star Trek people do. You know, they get started and then they get abducted or something happens. Yeah, it's the same type of situation.
So
Thank you for commenting more.
on the topic of what constitutes a vacation, are the Spirit Folk episodes vacations? And how do you feel about them in general?
I don't know. I'm pretty lukewarm on him. I wasn't excited about him. I didn't know if I don't know if I really considered them vacation episodes.
And not very vacation-y. More like just a escape, I guess.
Yeah, the kind of thing you expect from a crew that's stranded so far from home.
I mean, the whole delete the wife thing was fun, but that's not really a vacation either.
Need the wife.
Professionally, as a reviewer, they are some of Voyager's worst episodes, but it's one of those things that I have a soft spot for, that I enjoy them more than they have any right to actually be enjoyable.
I definitely prefer like like one of Tom's like serial excursions over those as far as like actual episode content goes. I know that doesn't really count as vacation, but just as far as the quality of the episodes go, I would prefer something like that.
Yeah, it really is more of a holodeck thing. Even if they went back to it,
They seemed like they always wanted to find a go-to holodeck program, and nothing really stuck. They had the pool hall for a while, then the gothic horror. Oh, the Hawaiian
Tiki
place,
bar?
was it? Yeah, the Tiki Bar.
Yep. The what if there was a mutiny, choose your own adventure.
I like that one a lot.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
That's probably the best badgy episode of Star Trek in general.
It was top tier Seska too.
Yep. I wish I had the new figures that I picked up this summer. I found some sealed but vintage figures, and one was the Cardassian Seska.
Oh wow.
Gannon, that's a great question. I don't have enough info to answer, Fred.
Well,
Okay there, Scott?
here's a weird one. Oh God, what was the name of the dudes that dumped theta radiation in Voyager?
The Malon?
The Malon. They describe that their planet's awesome because they make their garbage somebody else's problem. And it's like a pristine place. That could be cool for a vacation.
It'd be fun to see at least.
Yeah.
Something we haven't seen before.
Yeah, I would look forward to a vacation with no garbage whatsoever around me.
Oh, and hey, you're not frozen anymore, Robbie.
Oh,
Isn't that
there you
something?
go.
Hey, all we had to do is get rid of Scott. Trade in the better man.
I think the other place that we need to see is Casperia Prime. That's been compared to Risa, but we've never seen it or even the people from it, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not recalling anything at all.
Yeah, it was a thing that was brought up in DS9 a couple of times. It was where Bashir was going to go when he got sidetracked. In the episode, you were like, "There's no vacation in Inquisition." Well, there wasn't, because Bashir was about to go on vacation to a conference on Casperia Prime, and that was where Dax wanted to have their honeymoon.
Is there possibly like a book about that maybe out there? I've
probably.
I've only read.
Yeah, there's
so
a book
many
for
of his
almost
books.
everything.
They really do. God, there's so many of them.
It's probably a trilogy.
Written by William Shatner.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot. The only other stuff I have is about Let He Who Was Without Sin. Do you guys have any more like random vacation questions or anything before we get into that final topic?
Trying to think of something. Yeah, I don't know. I'm coming up dry. I can't really think of anything better. Scott messaged in Facebook saying,
Yeah, he's
trying
having
to
some
get back
trouble.
up.
He's gonna
Yeah.
try and come back.
I'd like to see aliens taking their vacation on Earth. We got to see it a little bit with characters like Nog experiencing it for the first time.
Oh yeah.
but not really like we never really got to see what other people thought of Earth in person, just through your conversation.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the only other one that kind of constitutes is Shadows and Symbols, and the one that comes after it.
Do we want to have a big like discussion about Worf like, joining a bunch of incels and ruining his own vacation? with his
Yes,
beautiful
we do. I guess we're just gonna get into that because I feel like this minorly ties into us talking about Bell Riots next week. I used to say that if Trump had a second term, the Bell Riots episodes would be what that looked like by the end of it. But yet, here we are on this beautiful day on Ryza, and you've basically got Donald Trump holding a fucking rally.
I think this guy is more distinguished than Donald Trump. Like he seems like he has actual military experience. I'm not saying I respect him. I'm just saying he seems like he has actual experiences compared to somebody like Donald Trump. Hey, Dill. Oh,
Back at you, Dell.
See ya.
Well, it's funny because he did start out with a kernel of like a good point, and then like all people like that just played it up way too much and was able to convince Worf. But the one thing we did learn is that good backstory about Worf killing the kid playing soccer.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
did
Oh, yeah.
like that. Yeah. Scotty, good to see you.
I hate this computer.
It seems to hate you back. I like that you have a mutual relationship between each other.
But
Yeah, one thing that I had seen early on in when I started reviewing like every episode of Star Trek was that some people felt like this episode is the worst episode of DS9. People went so far as to tell me that when I was like, well, but it's like it shows you the dangers of joining a cult. And one person was even like, well, yeah, duh, everybody knows that. I don't know, because it seems like we've got half of America that doesn't know that is behind this same kind of person right now.
Yeah, they get you in with like a few good points, and then they keep trying to justify these crazy actions for the point, and it's intolerable to watch Worf like completely fall for these guys' shtick. Like he's supposed to be there with his beautiful girlfriend, having like rough Klingon sex, and he's wasting his time like getting involved in this cult when he has so much more rewarding things to be doing with his time.
He
Oh,
could be
God.
doing this. He could be doing what Quark's doing.
And he would actually need to because of the Klingon anatomy.
That is a brilliant.
ooh,
Brilliant.
I swear to God, my grandma had that shirt Quark is wearing.
mine too, I think.
I don't want to like focus on this too much, but the outfit they put Dax in is incredibly
amazing.
revealing.
Well, I mean, they're like on a beach-ish. It's Ryza. It's a swimsuit. It's when she's got a little cover up.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, it's
I
not
think
as
that's
bad as
fine.
some other suits throughout Trek history. Yeah, let's thank Furman for all that stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, broccoli.
Ugh, broccoli.
Oh my God, this
Stalker broccoli.
sunscreen on the nose. What, dude?
Just an
Nobody's
example of a
apply
different suit.
sunscreen like that to their nose. It just makes them a loser.
Especially like when you've got a hat as big as he does. You pick
Oh,
one
God.
or the other.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like when you do that, you don't even call it sunscreen. You just call it zinc oxide.
Yeah, the official question I had for this episode was, has this aged like fine wine or is it just garbage?
I mean, it's
The,
got a few
not the episode
points.
that's up, but let he
Oh,
who
okay.
is without sin.
Oh,
I mean, I originally thought it was a bit too heavy-handed, but maybe you need that. I don't know.
Wow, that's a bold statement, Norman. As a kid, I would have agreed with you. Like I think I had already stopped watching the show by the time we got to Let He Was Without Sin, and I really liked Move Along Home. Like, yeah, board games, and like this is fun, I guess. But then when you put any amount of scrutiny to it, even for the game itself, it just none of it makes sense.
I guess the thing dragging so much of He Is Without Sin down is all the just airless comedy about it, all the annoying like court comedy about it, Worf
Right.
being annoyed. It isn't funny. It's just irritating. It makes you as the viewer irritated on the same level that Worf is.
It is hard at the end of the episode to, like, if you're binging it, to watch the next one and be right back on Worf's side.
Yeah, this one kind of goes in a basket about something we might talk about in the future, and the question is: Worf autistic?
He said, stroking his chin thoughtfully.
I don't want to go too deep into it because we might actually do this as a topic someday.
Yeah, let's.
But I think
We'll
there's a
table it.
distinct possibility.
Sometimes I think a lot of it is just him like being of two different cultures, and one of those cultures he's had significantly less interaction with, so it creates a lot of a dissonance in his thought processes.
Oh no, that might count as a vacation too. Another really
Ooh.
just dumb vacation.
Is that the
ends
woman that's a slug?
badly. Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that one. Oh my god, it's such a bad episode.
No, I will admit they did a good job on the effects work when his like eyes popped out like a Tex Avery wolf. He loved that slug. Like his eyes popped out.
Man, after finishing Battlestar Galactica recently, which is the same era as Enterprise, how bad the CGI in Enterprise is just nope. It wasn't great then, and it definitely doesn't hold up today.
Well,
I
They had grapplers.
I love grapplers. The space combat stuff wasn't too bad, like especially that space battle where the Zindi, the water Zindi, and like the water ends up in space and stuff. That was one of the coolest space battles I've ever seen. But short of that, their CGI is kind of garbage, especially anything on a planet or any life form like that goddamn slug.
Well, okay, give them a
Anything.
break. They were dealing with UPN money at the time.
all right.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They did the best they could. I mean, they had the same level of effects that Homeboys from Outer Space did. So
Yeah, that is absolutely true. After the snap.
I think the real question about this is, did Worf wear the sash when he went skinny dipping or not?
All he wears is the baldock. Yeah. Yep.
I want to see Worf.
Did you get in the mud bath too?
Probably.
I want to see Worf on like glide off a tree swing with the sash on, like fully naked, like the sash is just covering his privates.
Again, Tumblr probably has that for you. But
I'm not gonna look for it. I want it to be canon, damn it.
Oh,
Tawny
yeah,
Newsom, she might write it in.
Oh man.
She's got an awful lot coming up here.
Oh yeah.
Like, man, she is doing so much Star Trek. Lower Decks, in the writer's room for Academy. She's the host of the official Star Trek podcast. Now we got this unnamed Trek comedy thing that I am stoked about. I don't know anything but that Tawny Newsom is producer, and that's all I need to know.
Is it going to be back on Ryza?
Have they
Here's
even-
another example of Ryza. We only got to see it at the very intro of the game in
Oh,
TNG. And here's Riker chasing this chick that's trying to sell him on the game around the room.
And this was not scripted.
Yeah,
by the
really
way.
hard sell.
This
It
was just right. No, it was just Riker. It was Jonathan Frakes. Just they filmed him doing his normal
I
procedure.
believe that. I absolutely believe that.
I enjoyed the game, even if I had a little bit of a hard time thinking of it as a vacation episode. It does function in there technically, but
Well, it was supposed
Yeah,
to be a
only that
vacation.
intro.
For Wesley, it was supposed to be a vacation, like going
Oh,
home
that
and,
too.
and relaxing with what was
Yep.
her name? Was this Leffler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leffler's Laws, yeah. And the flashlights that never made sense, the palm flashlights.
Right. I think I said that Deus Ex Data comes in and saves the day with a strobe light.
Yeah.
is,
And half the crew had seizures off screen.
Right.
now is this the episode where Picard tells him to shut up, and then like another person tells him to shut up? Like maybe
No.
I'm confusing with the.
No.
Okay, no, forgive me.
Well, it's not Picard. Yes, I think so.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think because what you're thinking of is actually
God damn it.
Riker and Guinan. I think,
Okay.
right?
yeah. No, they're like on the bridge, and Wesley is trying to suggest something, and Riker just says, "Shut up, Leslie," and then somebody else says, "Shut up, Leslie." It was just funny for me on a certain level. I couldn't.
Yeah, I think I can't remember if it's this one or the Dauphine where Guinan and Riker are like trying to give him some moves, and like Guinan is like, "Shut up."
Oh,
And I thought Riker had said it too, but I don't remember. I
what
don't
kind of
remember.
move does Picard have? Like, I love the guy, but like, he's not like the smoothest dude with the ladies. Like, what kind of move?
He pushes you against the door and goes, "Oh."
After the flagship and has British,
that was
he doesn't
episode
even know
2. What naked now was it? Where they're
Oh,
all
yeah.
and he pushes Beverly against the door and just go, "Oh."
Yeah, thanks, Norman. I couldn't remember which one it was. I knew it was one of the ones where he was trying to get the girl.
I miss Guinan.
They'll never pay Whoopi Goldberg to come back to this franchise. It'd
Oh,
be-
It's a
they don't
shame.
need to. I also like
yeah, I
what's
like
her
the
name?
other one.
Ito.
Yeah.
She rocks. I liked her as Guinan a lot. I'd still like to know whether or not the Guinan we see in Picard season 2 actually has like some time shenanigans later, and the reason she doesn't really remember Picard is because she's gonna like go back to the 1800s later on. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't have any other questions here. So if you guys if you have any vacation thoughts, I think I would like to rank who is without sin.
Okay.
If we
I don't
don't
know, I
have
guess-
any other questions.
I guess my main thoughts on vacation episodes in Star Trek is that they don't lead to good conflict whenever we have actual vacation episodes. Like, the one with Picard getting involved with like time travelers and an artifact stealer is good, and that works okay. But the rest of these are just kind of middling, and they don't really serve plot function. And the other ones are all about vacations being interrupted and turned into an adventure. They're not really vacation episodes. Like, and when we see him do vacation stuff, it's not even very interesting. It's not even stuff I would look at as vacation stuff. Like there's no antecedent to like a spring break in the Star Trek universe. There's no like binge drinking or something more. Like,
Are we gonna get Spring Break and Academy?
yeah,
I would hope so. I really hope so.
I want to see some young like Trek people like get a little hog wild, see what that looks like. We get a little glimpse of it in Lower Decks when they have their watermelon eating contest. Oh,
We
I
got a
thought-
little bit
Oh,
with Dom Jot Picard.
Oh yeah, true.
And in Enterprise when the 35, 40-year-olds were playing their younger selves at the nightclub or whatever.
Mm.
So it's all pretty
There's, like,
smart,
one-
right?
They probably listen to like any music before the 1920s and have a highball.
Yeah, right.
No Pet Shop Boys going on there, let me tell you.
The Jem'Hadar, Del, the name of the episode.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
psychic Jem'Hadar or
Oh.
telepath or whatever she was.
You know, I actually really felt the Jemadar episode was pretty good on a vacation level, and we got a few really great moments with Cisco being a good dad.
I think we've just learned that if there's camping involved, it's probably a better vacation episode.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, actually, I hadn't
Yeah,
thought
something we
about
need to
this
see
one
these
when
people
we're
roughing
talking
it.
about
Oh,
best, but this might be the best episode with a vacation in it.
There's a beautiful moment where Cisco and Jake are like talking, and they're having such a good time, and then they mention something about going away somewhere to Earth, I think, and Jake is like, "Yeah, Nog will be happy too about that," and then they both just start laughing, like Jake admits that it's a joke, and that's one of the sweetest moments I think in DS9.
And Del, the one it was actually the picture I had up here just a minute ago. It's Strange New Worlds, because we don't have enough things in Trek called Strange New Worlds.
No, but the next show should be called To Boldly Go. Then they can have the entire title sequence covered.
Did we cover that Enterprise episode on here where they go camping and get all paranoid?
No,
Okay.
why would we? It's another one of those like lower middle of the road kind of episodes, which seems to be the theme with these vacation apps.
I don't want to watch them take mushrooms on a camping trip. That sounds boring as hell.
It really kind of was.
We did get the guy with all the sticks in him when the transporter messed up.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was weird.
I don't think I'm a fan of camping episodes through just pop culture in general. They all seem to kind of suck. No.
I'm not sure if I would consider that one Explorer's Vacation. It is a nice getaway and like one of the nicest parent-child moments in Trek for sure.
It's like an RV trip sort of thing. Or something like
yeah.
that.
God, I'm
National
glad-
Lampoon's Trek Vacation.
Man, I'm glad they never made that. Whew.
Yet.
I'd
They
watch
haven't
it.
made that yet.
I would watch it.
Do you really think the Star Trek franchise can afford to license the iconic National Lampoon name?
I had seen it that there's something like the name actually isn't worth anything anymore.
Oh, I believe that wholeheartedly.
I mean, yeah, you haven't seen anything with the name on it because the last like dozen or so things bombed so hard.
They all went to direct to video, didn't they? Like,
Some of them,
A
yeah.
lot.
Or less,
Well, they did
yeah.
the actual sequel to Vacation, but it wasn't labeled as such with Ed Helms and whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
pretty
Oh
good.
God.
that has a really good opening, and then the rest of the movie just falls apart.
Yeah, I mean it's not like the best vacation. It was better than like European Vacation.
Oh. And, no, I will say, for anyone who cares out there, European Vacation does have some prime TNA in it compared to the.
Oh,
new-
it sure does.
Yeah,
I'm not
compared
going to
to-
disagree with you there.
I know it's not a vacation, but I just want to give a shout out to when Tendi sees sand for the first time.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
good one.
It's a nice moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a show like Lower Decks, I'm surprised there aren't more vacations. Like the only thing you can really truly say is a vacation is probably this one here with Boimler on Ferenginar.
That look in Boimler's eyes, I know that look far too well.
You're doing it right now. You're frozen right into that, Robbie.
Anytime there's that brief black screen between scenes.
You know what is almost a vacation in Lower Decks? This is a long shot, but bear with me. Wedge Douche. Because the Cerritos spends all that downtime with everybody just doing whatever they want.
Yeah.
And then, like, you get that scene where it's like the call to action and everybody's dressed all crazy, like they raided the costume department because they all been off doing their own thing. And like Ransom and his Hawaii friends had a luau. And
All right. We're starting to wind. Go ahead, Robbie.
I just wanted to say, I totally forgot about Ransom having a luau. That's a pretty great touch. I like that a lot.
I want them to go back to the joke about him and the like woman made of churros that he has.
Oh,
Like that was a whole thing that they made a big deal about in one episode, and I can't believe we haven't come back to it.
Must be the series finale.
I hope so.
they're going to send us out on a strong point. I'm surprised stand-up comedy hasn't become a thing on Lower Decks as well. I figured there'd be some like bad stand-up somewhere.
And bring back what's his name, Piscopo from TNG.
No,
Oh God. Oh, we've talked that one to death. in the
never.
past. Oh my God.
Burn him. Burn his corpse so we can't reanimate it.
We've got Reno in Academy.
That's a good
Oh.
point. Even though, like, I love her in Discovery, but honestly, I tried to watch her most recent stand up, and it just like it didn't even get a chuckle out of me. And I love Tig Notaro, and I feel bad about it, but it
I've
just
never
wasn't
thought
funny.
she was like a stand-up comedian. I think she's a person that needs to have someone around her to bounce off her stuff. Because when it's just her, it's so dry, and there's just the audience there. You know, there's no one like deflecting or doing anything to really react to it on a character level.
Yeah, her and Stamets together, that was a really, really good pairing. And get some good
I'm
jokes.
curious to see the interaction with like Robert Picardo or some of these other people.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Do we have any type of like plot idea of what that Tommy Newsom comedy is going to be? Like, have they said anything at
Nope.
all? Damn.
Nope. All we
I-
know is
I-
we're gonna get a live action Trek comedy.
I thought they said it was set on or around a resort planet that was surreptitiously beaming the feed into the universe or something. Or is that just a rumor?
I'm not sure. I hadn't heard that. So
huh. That's different.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that. Yeah, that'd be intriguing. I wonder if that'll end up being something like a multi-dimensional television on Rick and Morty, where we get a lot of stuff. You know. Oh, thank you
thanks,
so much.
After the Snap.
We appreciate you.
It will, and I promise, our streams usually are a lot more interesting and in depth. This is like the most laid back stream we have ever had. It's gonna get really real
Yeah,
next week
much.
with the Bell riots. We usually try to avoid politics and stuff, but I absolutely
Yeah.
encourage it next week. And then we're gonna take a week off for Labor Day because I know nobody's gonna be around anyway. And then September we are going to compare Star Trek to other great sci-fi properties that we like. We're gonna talk Star Wars. We're gonna talk Quantum Leap. I'm gonna let the people that know about Doctor Who talk Doctor Who. And Battlestar Galactica, which I just finished, which I cannot recommend enough if you've never seen it.
The
The 04 version,
70s
not the
Battlestar
80s.
Galactica, right?
What?
the 70s Battlestar Galactica.
No, I'm talking about the
one,
04
one of the
one.
greatest sci-fi series ever. There will never be a-
Galactica 1980, the spinoff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and those only had one season each. I didn't realize until just looking it up recently that the one from the 70s had one season, and then 80 had one season, and the
That's
one
a
from
long
04
season.
got 4 seasons plus 3 miniseries, and then another spinoff.
3 miniseries?
Yeah, it starts.
Man.
If you ever go and watch it, you've got to watch the 03 miniseries first. It actually kicks off the whole 04 4-season arc.
Okay.
And then there's one that like I haven't seen because it's not on any streaming service for free. And then there's one that goes back and like ties in the whole. It fills in a bunch of pieces.
Cool. Yeah, I hope you guys are prepared because I'm going to be bringing in some anime comparisons for that episode.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're going to be talking some Captain Harlock for a minute. Yeah. Spaceship Yamamoto.
Yeah, so we're gonna do all those comparisons in September. I don't know what October looks like because, good God, we still have till October 24th before we get more new Trek.
We definitely have to do something spooky.
Well, I mean that will step on the two. Lower Decks comes back the 24th, and then the second episode should be debuting on Halloween. So,
Oh, okay.
we'll be into Lower Decks by then. But let's do a quick rating of Let He Who Is Without Sin out of 10 for fun. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I think it's mildly entertaining. I think it's got, at the very least, like a good message-ish, or at least a look at some stuff. It's got enough there to be an interesting episode. It's not, it's not Spock's brain.
Thank goodness for that.
But without Spock's brain, we wouldn't have the magnificent Ferengi.
Fair.
Or we would, and they would have invented it after the fact. I'll give it like a 5. I'll put it middle of the road.
I got to bow out on this one. It's been a long time since I watched that episode. I'm not up to it yet in my rewatch, and I honestly cannot remember a vast amount of what happens. That whole cult thing just kind of threw me, and I know I've seen the episode before, so that's a problem.
I think I'm going to give it a 5 simply for Dax's swimsuit because it's glorious. Like, man.
If Worf wore the Speedo, I'd bump it up a little more. But we didn't get to see that.
Oh, yeah, he deserved to get a Speedo on during that episode.
So you were giving it a 5, Robbie? Is that what you
Yeah, I
said?
think I'm going to give it a 5. There's maybe a couple moments of actual laughter-inducing comedy. I mean, I guess it's kind of an interesting character study to see Worf completely lose his head over strangers who are basically incels, like concerned about like public safety and stuff. I mean, I guess there's a kernel of interesting things going on in there. But as far as the actual story of DS9 goes, it kind of doesn't matter at all. Like, if you take that episode out, it literally doesn't matter to all the DS9 is.
Well,
consequential.
it does lead Lita to basically run Ferenginar. If she never broke up with Bashir, she never would have got with Rom.
Okay, well, you got me there, but even then, I still didn't remember that enough to give a crap.
That was subplot like 7, but
okay, I will say with Bashir and Lita breaking up, I do find it funny how like friendly and just they're doing this whole ritual over like a period of a few days, and it's the complete opposite of breakups I've seen in my life. So yeah, that was interesting. The 5 still stands, but a fan award show. Thank you. After the snap,
Yeah, I'm curious.
that's interesting.
All right. Anybody have any final thoughts on Vacations?
Star Trek needs to cancel conferences. Hard stop.
Don't go to Ryza. You won't leave with all of your original organs.
You might leave with some extras, but
Sometimes even if you get to the conference, everything goes wrong when you're on your way back.
If you're
Sometimes-
looking for if you're looking for love on Ryza, that's not why you're there, and you shouldn't be there. A
Or just people
7.
for Maharon in all the wrong places.
Yeah, I can get behind a 7. It's I wouldn't give it 1, but I don't think it's the one that I've seen a lot of people say that it is.
it's no profit in lace.
No.
Thank goodness for- Like the
I wish
profits.
I kind of wish it were Profit and Lace almost. At least that has like more drawing my attention on the whole. I don't
I
think
think it's got better humor.
yeah.
The jokes in this one pretty much fall flat. You're in it for the eye candy, and the Worf puts on a MAGA hat, and that's about it. All right, well, we will be back next week with the Bell Riots because, by God, it's closer to reality than we probably want to think. I'd like to thank all of you for watching and my co-hosts for showing up tonight on a kind of special edition because we missed yesterday. And Win Grace, thanks for your first appearance with us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you again next Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Until then, live long